everybody, Miranda Madison here. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Minnesota, and I have a couple of projects that I'm working on that I would love to share with you. I also have a couple that are not quite finished, because that's how it goes around here. I just got back from a wonderful trip, very fast, but very full. We went to Omaha for one of our friends' wedding. Hi, Terry! Terry's son actually is the one who got married yesterday. So we arrived home at about 10 last night, and I had a wonderful, beautiful brown box sitting on my table of goodies from both from the current catalog as well as some really fun things that are in the upcoming holiday catalog that comes out this Wednesday. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is that if you have ordered from me in the last 6 months, any sized order, I will be sending you a catalog. If I haven't sent it to you already, I will look through my charts and I will make sure that you get one. This Wednesday, all of those products will be online on my shopping page. Hi, Sherry. So there's so many cute things to share with you. But I thought that since I got all of these goodies, that I would show some projects that you could make with some of them. So I was a part of, hi Lynn, I was a part of a swap, which is where I would make so many, however many people are participating, I would make that many of the same exact card, send it to the swap host, and they would mix them all up with all the others that are participating. So because I went silver with Stampin' Up! With my team, I was able to participate for the first time in a leader swap. And so right before we left on our trip, an envelope came, but we were loading the car, and so I did not even get to open it until we got home. So I have some beautiful cards that have been made using products from the upcoming holiday catalog. Hi, Kayla! So I thought that I would show, since I'm facing this way right now, I would show some of these cards with you. So I'm really hoping that my lighting isn't going to mess with it, so I'll try really hard not to get a bad glare. But this is one. Hi, Miles and Eli too. So this card is super cute. Hi, Carol. Hi, Mama. So this card was made with one of the new, and I can't show the catalog yet, but on Wednesday I can. So if you are interested in seeing that catalog, you can let me know. Hi, Haley. So that is one of the cards that was made in my swap cards. I have a stack this big, so super exciting. So this is one that I have sitting on my counter over here that I'm very excited to use. But it is beautiful, and these are all probably flip-flopped around. But I can show them the other way if you guys want. I can maybe take pictures or something. So that one is so pretty, and it comes with the framelits that kind of match this one, and it's just beautiful. This one was actually also made using we have some new paint now that you can put with different colors, and this one is actually made with copper. And so I'm not sure if I ordered that or not, but it's really pretty. So this is another one. This is a Thanksgiving card that was made with a set from the upcoming catalog. This one is really cute, really simple. There's a set that is called Farmhouse Christmas, and it's so cute. It has that cute little truck. But these are some of the designer series paper as well as stamp sets from the upcoming catalog. Here's that other set again, and one of the sentiments that go along with it. This is also some copper foil that has been embossed with an embossing folder as well. So really pretty for that one too. That is one. So this embossing folder back here is with one of the embossing folders from the upcoming catalog too. Some really cute Halloween things. Hi, Dave. So this one was made with a set from the upcoming catalog as well as the designer series paper for that. Here's that same pretty bird pheasant stamp set that has that sentiment, Happy Thanksgiving. And this one, she did some black embossing, which we're going to do tonight a little bit, except I'm cheating because I don't have a black embossing powder yet. So I am embossing with my Memento ink as well as clear embossing powder. So I'm excited to show you guys that. So this was one of them. And this one I was really excited because my card, I'm going to show you last, goes really closely with this one. So my friend Kim, who made this card, yeah, embossing powder is super, super fun, Haley. You'll love it. My friend Kim and I had very similar inspiration for our cards that we made for this swap. So that's really fun. This one is so cool and will be perfect to use with our Stamparatus that I'm going to use tonight because it is a 3-layer stamp that you can do, and the Stamparatus really helps you line those little cross-stitch X's. So that's one of the sets. So I have a couple more and then I'll show you mine. This one is so fun because she used that shimmery paint as well in her skyscape. But my friends did a beautiful job. So this is another one. That one was from my team leader, Robin, which she just posted a video of that on her YouTube channel if you guys would like to watch. So this one was mine that I did for the swap. So I used that same new embossing folder that is so fun. I love it. And I'm probably going to do something fun with foil with that embossing folder because it's really cool. So I took Memento Tuxedo black ink and then I colored 19 of these with our watercolor pencils, but then I didn't blend it with any water, and so it took quite a while, and I had a little indent in my finger when I was done, but it was so fun. So I also used the same woven twine that I'm going to show you today as well. So I thought before I flipped around and did some crafting that I would show some of the really fun goodies that will be in this upcoming catalog on Wednesday. So another one that I want to show you is a set that we're not using tonight, but one that I'm very excited to show with different colors, and it's very popular. This one. This stamp is one solid stamp, which will also be perfect with our Stamparatus to get it lined up just perfectly. To make sure all of the area is inked. I will probably use this one next week. Have to have a little bit of time with it. But I have seen some really cute projects already made with this stamp set, and it's only one, so it's $15, and I've seen so many things that I want to do with it, so I thought that I would show some things that I was excited about, and we will get to crafting. I will tell you that my space is a little mess, so we're going to work on it together. But I thought it would be fun to work with the Stamparatus and some Brayers to get some really fun color into our cards today. So I'm going to flip you around and then we'll get to creating. So I'll do this little flippy. I hope that my mount is where it needs to be, but you know, when it's been a week since you've done it, sometimes it's not perfect. So we're going to do this. And it's not bad. All right. Good luck, Dave. Hope it goes well. Hope they're feeling better. Thanks for stopping by. If you want to watch the rest, I'll put it on YouTube hopefully later this evening. So it'll be ready to go. All right. So what we're going to do tonight, I got a couple. This was one of the stamp sets that I got from our I got it from our annual catalog, and this one was on my wish list for the time, from the time where I opened up the catalog. This one was on my list. It is a double stamp set. It is definitely not one of the cheaper ones, but I saved and saved to get it, because this one with the framelits I think was $70. So it's not really in my comfort zone when it comes to adding to my collection. So the stamp set is huge. The choices that you get for this set, with really pretty sentiments, and they're the kind of stamps that you can use on tons and tons of different things. And so they also coordinate really well with other stamp sets that we have in our catalog. So that was definitely a set that was on my list. And then the dies that come with them are the Nature's Roots framelit dies. They also coordinate with one of the other stamp sets, and there's so many of them. So these ones do like an embossing technique on them, and then we have several that cut the designs out. But it was one of those things that I just kept putting a little bit away and a little bit away, and I was super excited to pick that up this week. So what we are going to do is we are going to do a little bit of emboss resisting, and I have some pieces already cut out that we're going to use for this one. So this is just a piece of 5 1/4 by 4. And we are going to, let me see where my tree is. That's where I want it. Okay, so I'm going to use my magnet for my Stamparatus, and what I've done is I've took a piece of scratch paper from my grid paper here. I just cut it down to size so that I could put it on here in case I got any ink stamped down on there as well. So what we're going to do with this card is we are going to ink up our tree up here. I'll try to scoot you down just a little bit so that you're still in the frame there. We're going to ink it up, whoopsie, so sorry, with the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And so we're going to just twist and tap as we go, trying not to shake. Oh yeah, Haley, I'll totally show you that. I got something really cheap off of Amazon, and this is actually my second one. The first one wasn't quite as sturdy. If I spent a little bit more than $10, I probably could have gotten something a little bit better, but so far this works for me. So hi Meg. So we are just stamping that Memento Black on our tree down on our paper. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take my Simply Chamois, which is a mess and very well loved, and I just made it a little bit damp enough to mold it, and I'm just going to rub it on my stamp set just to take off that black ink, just cleaning it up just a little bit. I'll kind of blot it just to make sure that I catch all of the ink bubbles if I've left it. Hi Riley! Look what I have, Riley. I have a package all ready to go for Riley Grace. So my sweet niece, for her first day of school, had a sign that said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And she said a crafter. It was so cute. So that was so good for this auntie's heart. So now what we're gonna do, so I put together a little crafty box to send to her because I have tons of it and I want to share it with people who want to craft. So that'll be a nice present. So then I'm going to take my VersaMark on the same stamp. I have left it exactly in the same place. So we have already inked up our Memento Tuxedo Black, which you could also use stays on if you wanted to, but I use my Memento probably 90%, and my stays on is like a 10% ratio, if that tells you anything. So we just inked up our tree, same tree we cleaned off, with our VersaMark, and I'm just holding that down just a little. And now what we're going to do is we have inked that VersaMark in the same spot. Now this is going to be messy because I practiced already. But we are going to take my clear Stampin' Up! Embossing powder, and we're going to put that right over the top of our tree and shake that off. Now I also forgot my embossing buddy again, so this we'll just have to do. And this one should be really fun because you'll be able to see the powder change and turn glossy with this one. So what we're going to do is I'm going to clean up really fast. I'll move this out of the way down here. I'm going to clean up that VersaMark because it's kind of a sticky ink. And so if you don't clean it right away, it kind of gets tacky a little bit. So I'm just going to wipe that off with my chamois really fast. And I'm going to pull out my heat tool, put it on setting number 2. And I hope that this won't be too loud, but I'm going to hold it so that you can see the embossing powder will start to change color. And hopefully you'll be able to see that pretty well because of the dark color behind it. So I'm just going to slowly go across with my black over the black embossing, the clear embossing, excuse me. But it kind of makes the tree kind of pop. It's a little bit shiny. So I'm going to turn our heat gun off. And now, for the next step, I'm going to move my Stamparatus. Oh, before we do that, I have one more step. All right, so we're going to do a fun band to put over our card, and I'll show you when we put it together. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on here. Let me see if I can match it up with our stamp. So I already have placed the stamp on it. And so when I was practicing, I did get this far. There was one card that I was working on that I didn't quite finish the assembly on it. So I'm going to back it up just a hair. We're going to do the same sort of technique with this one, except we're doing it on the Vellum Cardstock. So I can show you a little bit of a difference in how this ink attaches to the vellum. So we still ink it up with our Memento Tuxedo Black first. And then after we have put that on, you'll see how it reacts to the vellum a little bit differently than our normal Whisper White cardstock. So it's a little bit more splotchy, and that's kind of hard to see. I'll see if I can zoom you in. We'll see. There we go. Probably don't want quite that much. Okay. So now what we're going to do, that is something I'm going to show you tonight, Terry. So I'm so excited because of the Stamparatus and the exact placement that we're going to get with this, I'm also going to do our second card using a color ink and our clear embossing powder. So, so that I can show you that you can emboss with any color that you have of Stampin' Up! Ink. They all will work for this technique. It's so cool. And it really helps if you have a VersaMark and any color of ink with the clear embossing powder. That is one key player. We can do it with any of the inks that we have. So it's super fun. So because I stamped with the black on the vellum first, what I wanted to show you is that it kind of takes the ink up a little bit when you put the VersaMark over the top of it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that clear, so it's not quite as saturated of the ink color of the black, but I'm just kind of going to go with it. We do carry a basic black embossing powder that would be more of a dark color of black to be a little bit more bold for your projects. But when you're doing it on Whisper White or on colored cardstock, you're pretty much going to get a good consistency like this tree was. But when you do it on the vellum, it just is going to lift up some of that black color and not be quite as dark. So I'm gonna heat emboss this one, and then I'll show you how to make the card the rest of the way. So it kind of almost looks like a marbled technique with this because of how it lifted up some of the ink from that. So if I hold it up really close, it kind of looks tie-dye, marble. So that is our sentiment over the top. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up making a band, like a belly band, to go over the top of our tree there with the vellum, and we're going to adhere it to the back. So the next stage, after I clean up my little sentiment over here, make sure I get all that VersaMark out. Oh, you and Riley would have so much fun, Meg. I know you think that you're not quite crafty enough, but I can tell you that these things just help you look so much better than you feel. So I'm going to set the Stamparatus aside. We're finished with that part. And then I'll use it for the second card that I have made. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take, this shows you a little bit. I'll use this side. It's not as distracting. Okay, so I'm going to open up just so that I can make sure I hear and see the comments that are coming up. And we'll see, there we go. We'll see how, if I can still read it when I sit down. Okay, so this card is going to be really fun. And I would show you what I did first, but I want it to be a surprise. So I already practiced this one all the way, and it was not tricky at all. An easy first-time crafter can totally do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our ink pads. We're going to have 3 colors, and we're also going to use our Stampin' Up! Sponge Brayers. These come in a pack that has 2 of the handles and 4 of the sponges. And if I'm remembering correctly, they are fairly cheap. I'm going to look it up really fast. I have really enjoyed having my computer in here when I need to look for it. So they're $8 to get 4 sponges, and you can wash them with soap and water in your sink because we have water-based ink that you can use the same set of 4 sponges on any of the inks that you have, and they will wash out really, really well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 different colors. I'm going to try to keep my sponges separate so that they don't get confused. So we are going to take Granny Apple Green, Lemon Lime Twist, and Pineapple Punch for our ink colors. And so I'm going to do them one at a time, starting with the Granny Apple Green, and we're going to do that part on the bottom. Hi, Pauline. Thanks for coming. Oh, yes, Terry, you can totally catch the replay. Thanks for coming for a little bit. Enjoy your company while you still got them at your house. I'm excited to hear how that all goes with after wedding stuff. You have been busy for sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it sideways and try not to shake you. Now with my mount, I have it set up on a different area. So I'm just going to take my Stampin' sponge brayer, and I'm just rubbing it in the ink really softly, because if I were to push down really hard, there's a chance I would get these dug into my ink, and I don't really want to do that. So I just try to be gentle when I'm using that. So I'm just going to go up from the bottom and kind of go different directions. And with the embossing that we did, it's going to resist all of that ink color. So we're just going to take it and go back and forth until I get the color that I want. I'm trying to smooth out any lines that I have. And so I have found that the lighter that I do the sponge brayer, the less lines that I have. So the heavier that I push down, the heavier my hand is, the more strong the lines are. And so that is a tip that I can share with you. So we're going to set the Granny Apple Green aside for a second, and we're going to open up our Lemon Lime Twist. Now, I'm not doing this for a true sunset or anything. I just chose 3 colors that I thought would look pretty good blended together, and they would kind of blend into each other. Just thought those are fun colors. I haven't used them in a while, and I thought I would try it out. So you could choose any colors that you think coordinate together and go that direction too. So what we're gonna do next on this line, on the next phase up, is the Lemon Lime Twist. It has a more yellowy green tint to it, so I figured that it was probably the best one to go in between our Pineapple Punch and our Granny Apple Green. So green is my favorite color, so any of the green hues that I can get, I love. Okay, so now we're gonna finish it out with our Pineapple Punch. That one's still a little bit sticky. They do get easier to open, I will tell you that. Once you have used them and you are consistent. Oh, got a little piece of the case there. There we go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip it over this time. I'm gonna work from this side. So I'm gonna go back and forth, kind of with a zigzag motion to get that to blend there. And we'll do a more thick color of the Pineapple Punch. It's a really pretty bright yellow color that I'm so excited that it's a part of our In Color family, because I think it goes with a lot. It's a really pretty summery color. So that is what we are going to do for that. I might take my Lemon Lime Twist and kind of blur those lines together a little bit more. So that is what we are going to do for our first layer there. So I'm going to set my sponges aside, and I'm going to move my color out of the way a little bit. We're going to use this one later, so excuse my arms there. That way those Brayers will be a little bit more out of our way here. So I'm just gonna set those aside, clean up sort of as I go. I will tell you that my desk was even a mess before we started. So what we are going to do with this, I will show you, is I'm gonna flatten it as much as I can, and we are going to kind of take it almost like we do with our Scotch tape when we're putting ribbons around it, and we're gonna fold that band, that vellum band, down as flat as we can. So we're gonna hold it again, and as flat as we can, we're gonna fold this side down, and we're gonna tape it by the edge so that it can hold our band down, but that you can still see through to our beautiful tree sunset. So I thought that this was a really fun way to highlight that beautiful big tree. So that is the first part that we're gonna do. And now we're gonna take some of this really, really pretty braided linen trib. This is what I used in my card here. And I just did a really simple one without any bows or anything. And this one we're gonna make a little bit of a tie so that we can showcase just how fun this linen thread is. So I need to find, there they are, my paper snips. So we're gonna trim our linen, our woven linen, I guess is what it's called. And we are going to hold that down so that it's a little bit under where our vinyl or vellum, good grief, not quite the same thing as vinyl. We're gonna hold that down with a piece of tape, and then we will go in and, whoopsie, a little bit over. Okay, so this is just normal Scotch tape, and I'm gonna put it down quite a bit to hold down that linen thread. just to make sure it doesn't loosen up there. That is also there to help us hold down so that this doesn't buckle very much. And what we're going to do is now we're going to take a little bit more of it and we're going to tie a little knot over here. And then we're going to fray our edges a little bit so that we can see how fun this woven trim is. It's super, super fun. So we're gonna tie our little knot, and we're gonna face our little bow down. Both of them are gonna go down, not up and down. So we're gonna cut it at a diagonal here, and we'll do a diagonal on this side as well. And then we're going to take and fray the edges, if I can do that, just to see how pretty that woven is. And I'll lift it up to show you in just a second. It's hard to do this and talk at the same time. So we're just gonna separate those threads. It's super pretty. It kind of almost looks like a basket, a woven basket, up close, if you're looking really, really close to it. So we're just going to fray those edges, and we're going to scooch our knot over so that it doesn't cover up our sentiment there. So that is what that layer looks like. And now what we're going to do is, this is probably going to seem a little overwhelming to some, but I'm going to use quite a few dimensionals on this layer to pop up the whole layer on top of this beautiful pineapple punch layer of cardstock that we're going to put on top of a crumb cake base. So before we do this part, I want to take one of the other stamp sets, not with that one, we're going to use the Granny Apple Green one more time to do a couple leaves on the inside of my card, because sometimes I don't remember that insides are really fun. So we're just going to take this stamp of that leaf from the same stamp set that we're using, and we are going to put Granny Apple Green leaves right on the inside on the bottom. I love this stamp set because of the vines that go through. I'll show you up close a little bit. The vines that go through, or veins, not vines, that go through that leaf stamp. They're so, so detailed, and so I love that one. I'm excited to use it in different projects that we do. So I'm going to fold that one up, and then I'm going to put a very, very generous amount of dimensionals, and you're probably going to laugh at me with how many I want to put on this. But I just don't want it to get I don't want it to fall down, and I don't want it to, I want the height to stay pretty strong when I'm doing that. So we're going to put one at that one and that one. Yeah, so like I said, quite a few. I just don't want it to buckle. So we're just going to take the backs off of our Stampin' Dimensionals. Put them to the side for now, and then they'll probably fall on the floor. Hi, Sarah. So we're just going to take these backings off of our layer. Now, when I did this the first time, I didn't think, oh, well, this is probably going to take me a little bit to peel off all these backs since I'm using so many of them. But, you know, we're live, so it's going to happen. That it's going to take me longer to peel them off right now than it did before as well. So no big. So there is our layer that we are going to put down on our, whoopsie, on our pineapple punch layer. It is going to be just a really, really thin border that we're using on that. So we're going to layer that with onto our crumb cake, and we're just going to use some snail adhesive. I'm going to do, oh, you guys get to see me do a refill. So I just ran out of my snail adhesive, so I'm going to take that part off by pinching the top and the bottom. This part goes in the trash can, and I just got new ones, so you get to see me open it and everything. So this is a snail adhesive refill, and you just peel that off and take that one out of the package, set the trash aside, and then you take this one tiny little piece off and throw that one away, and you line it up with your base just like this, and you click it together. There we go. Click it together, and that is how you refill your snail adhesive. So super simple. It makes a little bit more noise when it first comes out, but I kind of like the clicking sound. It almost worries me when it's not making the clicking sound. So I just put three little lines of adhesive to hold this down because of how much our how many dimensionals we used. We need a lot of adhesive to hold that down. So I have just the teeniest little border on the top and the bottom of the crumb cake. Otherwise, our color is what shines on that card. So that is our card number 1. I've only got a couple tonight, but I'll show you the difference between the one that I did earlier, which is this one. You can see that the sentiment was a little bit darker in some places than others, just the difference of what that technique does, but that both the tree and our sentiment, we used that emboss resist with the Memento black ink and VersaMark with clear embossing powder. That's what we did for both of those. So that is our first card for tonight. Super easy with a couple of fun techniques to share on that one. So the next card I did not actually get finished, but I kind of know where I wanted to go with it. So I wanted to show how fun you can use, or how many things you can do with our designer series paper. So we are going to take a piece of our, gotta find where I put them now. There they are. We're gonna use some more green shades today. So this is a piece of our designer series paper from a really fun Animal Expedition. That's the Animal Expedition designer series paper, and it has these cute animals with really fun patterns and lots of good color in that. It also has some other animals and some hippos and alligators. So super cute. Pack has the sloth and a little iguana. So cute. So what we're going to do with this today is I thought that instead of using a stamp set to feature, we would do something fun with our designer series paper instead to feature that. So we're going to set those pieces aside, and we are going to use our Big Shot. So I'm going to go grab my Big Shot. Hi, Kieran. To show you how to cut this part out. So what we're going to do is I'm going to set my Big Shot down. It's going to take up the whole screen because I'm still zoomed in, because I have not learned how to make it back up after you've started it. So something to learn. So I'm going to put a circle framelit over the top of this designer series paper to put our cute little frogs right at that left side there. And I'm going to put my clear plate over the top. This is very well loved and is supposed to look this way. So no worries. So we're going to put that on top. I have my magnetic platform with my precision base plate on the top and one clear plate covering my die and my paper there. So we're going to use this Big Shot to go one time through, and since it's a circle that we're cutting out, we don't have to go back and forth more than once. Sometimes with the more intricate designs that I'm cutting, I will cut or roll it through the Big Shot multiple times to get the best cut that I can. So that is with some of our layering circles framelits. And then I want to do a layer behind it using our basic black. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our platform there, put that down again, and then we're going to cut out a scalloped circle that comes from that same embossing set of the layering circles, which I use all the time, the layering circles framelits dies. And we are going to put one plate over the top, and we can just roll it through one time. So that is going to give us our background for our cute little frogs. And we will pull that out, and I think that that is all of the big shot work that we're doing today. So that is our scalloped circle. Sorry, it keeps blurring, I'm sorry. So that is our scalloped circle to bring a little bit of depth to our cute little frogs there. And so I'm going to move my big shot out of the way, and we can start putting this cute little card together. I had most of my layers cut out already, but did not quite have my final piece cut out. So before we get our pieces out, what I want to do is I'm going to take our Stamparatus. Hi, Shelly. We're going to bring our Stamparatus back into play here, and we are going to use the ink Call Me Clover that coordinates really well with our cute little frog designer series paper that we're going to use. And this one is also going to show you a little technique. So this sentiment, if you can see it since I zoomed in, this sentiment is from the first card that we did, and I put the other sentiment, I just flipped my plate over and put it on the same plate. I can get 4 different stamps and just switch my plates out really easily. So that is another reason why I love our Stamparatus. It does such a good job. So what we're going to do is this is what we're doing, but I'm going to show you how. This is using our Call Me Clover ink with VersaMark, the VersaMark ink on top of it, and then with clear embossing powder. So you can kind of see a little bit of a shine, and it raises it up just a little bit to the touch. But I think it is a really fun accent to our sentiment. It doesn't look just like ink on a paper. It looks like fancy. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my paper right where I want it for our inking, and I'm going to hold it down with our magnet there. So first you do the color ink, and again, you could use any color that you want. This one is also kind of sticky. I need to use this color more. That's what that says. So we're just going to ink up our sentiment there, and you can see that it's kind of leaving some color around it. And if you're worried about that coming onto your paper, you can always take a tissue and wipe that part off. But most of the time, if you're not pushing down too hard, you won't get that color. So we're just going to hold that down, and I think the magnet really helps. If you have your magnet close by, it's not going to let the plate touch your cardstock. So that, this is another really cool thing. So you see that I have some places on there that did not ink up all the way. So all I do is I take my ink with my stamp, same. I'm going to wipe off those corners just in case, since I already have this there. And I'm going to go down right exactly in the same place that I had it before. So I'm going to push a little bit harder just to make sure I get all the coverage that I want there. So that is perfect. So now we're going to take our chamois and we're going to clean up our stamp here. I'm just going to kind of rub my finger back and forth to kind of lift that color out. And then I'm going to air dry it a little bit just to make sure. And then I'm going to take our VersaMark. I'm going to go over that stamp really carefully. and I'm going to stamp it down right on top of that beautiful Call Me Clover. We're just going to stamp it that one time, and then I'm going to lift this up. We're going to take our scrap paper here, and we're going to put our clear embossing powder right over the top of our inked up image. I'm going to tap it off, and then I'm going to set it up there for just a second while I dump this back into my container and clean off my stamp really fast and put my ink away. I'm just going to pull that out, snap that back, so that's done. We're going to clean that VersaMark off of our stamp really fast so that it doesn't dry and get sticky. And now we're going to pull our Kate tool back out so you can watch this change color too. So I'm going to again set it on the number 2 setting, and I'm going to hold it over the top there, and it's going to change that color once it heats up to a little bit darker. You see that? It's super easy, but a really fun technique for your cards. So what we're going to do is I'm going to set this aside again, and we are going to cut out this little sentiment. I'm going to kind of go around it, not super perfect, just around, leaving a little bit of white space. Not perfect at all. I thought about cutting it out with a circle framelit, but I really want that designer series paper to be the star of the show for this card, and so having a sentiment that is cut out perfectly was not something I was really worried about. So what we're going to do, we just cut that cute little sentiment out for the top of our card. And now we're going to put this cute thing together. We are also going to use, if I can find it, the, let's see, shimmery black ribbon. It's probably covered up by this tape, and that's why I can't read it. Oopsie. All the way in there. Shimmer ribbon in the basic black color. So I'm going to take that tape off. That's how I store my ribbon, to make sure that it doesn't fray all over the place or get mixed in with all the other ribbons and makes it harder to pull them out when I need to use them. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to pop, we're going to adhere this down first with some snail adhesive, and see that that color on the back is what we're using as our base color here. So that is what the designer series paper looks like on one side, and then it's a fun pattern with color on the other side. And we're going to actually put that with some basic black to layer it so that it really pops next to that Call Me Clover layer there. So we're going to put snail adhesive on the back of our circle. Make sure that we have the same border around that. And we're going to pop this up with some dimensionals as well as we are adhering our base layer together there. I'll probably do one more. Okay. I use a lot of those things because they're really cheap, and so you can totally, I think I'm going to put it right there. That'll be so cute. Okay, so I might do that now. So I'm just going to use snail adhesive to put down on this. Whoa, I wanted to stick really hard. So we're going to put that over the top of those cute little dots that we had. Did you see those? We'll see. Those cute little dots there. We're just going to cover that up with our sentiment. And it looks so cute right there. So what we're going to do with this part is I really need to replace my blade again. I have cut a lot of cardstock. Sometimes you'll get these little, oh goodness, rough edges using your trimmer. and it's a good sign that you need to either replace your blade or clean your trimmer. And I probably need to do both. So I'm just brushing them back if I want a smooth edge. Sometimes it doesn't really bother me, sometimes it does more than others. So we're gonna take a little bit of snail adhesive on our designer series paper here and just do some at the top and the bottom. And we're gonna put that down on our basic black so that we have that basic black border all the way around there. And now we're going to take this shimmery black ribbon and we're going to tape that using our Scotch tape on the back. And that really shows up really cool with that lemon lime twist color on there. Super cute. So now what we're gonna do is, this one we're not gonna do anything on the inside because sadly, I do not yet have the stamp set that goes along with this designer series paper. So it is in my cart for my next order, and I just might buy it with all of my bonus days rewards that I got. September, if you ordered in the month of August, any order that was $50 or more was given a coupon for bonus days, and you get $5 back for every $50 that is spent. Hi, Nate. So we get to do some fun shopping this month with all those coupons that we got. So I just put snail adhesive down to put that on our base color. This is the Call Me Clover. Really, really pretty color. This is a fun bright card. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put this over here and I'm going to tie a bow really fast if I can do it since we're live. Somebody told me that if you leave it on the spool before you cut it, you can play with it a little bit more to get it how you want it. So I'm going to practice my bow live because that's the best time to practice a bow. We'll see if it looks prettier on the other side. So we'll pull that out, pull that out. So cute. You know, it's not perfect, but it went a lot quicker than it usually does. So I'm going to cut that at an angle, and I will cut this side at an angle as well. Congratulations on closing on your house, Nate. I'm excited for you and Jordan. They're getting married soon. 2 weeks, I think. I think that's when. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that on. I'm going to fix my trim job because it was a little bit crazy. Okay. Finish my trim. Woo, goodness. All right, so what we're going to do to adhere this one on here is we're going to take a glue dot from the mini glue dots, and I use these quite a bit too, so I know you've seen me use them before. And we're going to put one on the back of our bow right there. And I'm probably going to do a couple since this is my first bow that I've done this way. Better to have more adhesive than not enough. So we're going to put that down right here on there. And our sentiment says, grateful for a friend like you. And it came, let me see if I can find it, from the Bunch of Blossoms stamp set that is in our annual catalog. That was a stamp set that was last week. Oh, I'm sure it won't. You guys have had a lot going on. And on top of it, they helped take care of our puppies while we were gone. We had 3 different friends that signed up for different shifts so that we could go on our trip. So we were very, very thankful to still be able to go and not have to worry about our crazy puppies while we were gone. So we're very thankful. So we're just we took the backings off of our dimensionals there, and we're gonna put that down right there. So that is our second card for tonight. So I hope you guys liked them, and I hope you were inspired, and it makes you want to try some of those techniques that we worked on today. So I'll pull out my other card that we did together right here. We had some fun with that lemon lime twist color tonight. I didn't even notice that. So I hope you enjoyed these cards, and if you are interested in recreating any of them, you are welcome to visit my Stampin' Up! Store, my online Stampin' Up! Store at mirandamadison.stampinup.net. And all of the items that I used in today's cards, both of them are in our annual catalog already, so you should be able to find those online. I'm going to try to put this video up on YouTube tonight, as well as try really hard in the next couple of days at least, hopefully tonight, to put all of the recipe, what I used on all of these cards, onto that Stampin' Up! Video or on my YouTube channel, so that you can know what we used today. So it was fun hanging out with you, and I will see you next Sunday for another Sunday night live stamping. Thanks for coming, everybody. Bye-bye.